It's underway. All right, just get this going. I'm just going to do the sort of formal bit just for guys who watch this code on YouTube, okay? Then we'll have a pretty much personal conversation, really. So, okay. So let's get underway. So welcome to How to Help Others Transmute their Karma into their Gifts of Service. I'm Nicolas David Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension. And I'll just talk about what this is about. So have you noticed how people turn away from the biggest karmic challenges they face in their lives, no matter how hard they have tried, as they are just too painful for them to face, as they lack the spiritual map of life, how to overcome them? This webinar is about how to help others identify those core karmic patterns and how to go about transmuting them so they can deliver the gift of service to the world, that special thing they've been looking for their entire life. Okay, so we're going to talk about the soul contract reading work, and you pretty much tailor this to whatever you guys want, okay? So make the most of it. So what, if you just tell me where you are and what brought you here, then I can sort of, and how much experience you have with the soul contract, then we can, getting a pad out here, then I can tailor this around what you guys need, okay? So I'm all yours. So who would like to go first?
I can start.
Okay, Sophia, we're to start off, we're with where you are and what brought you here and what you need from us.
Okay, so I'm from Denmark.
Yeah.
And what brought me here, I don't know, faith, I guess.
Yeah.
I noticed your work, I think 4 weeks ago, but very quickly, when I looked into my own charts and the charts of my family and so, it just told me a story right away. So it kind of was very easy for me to tap into the different frequencies and the different karmic patterns. I've been working with karmic patterns for, I think, 13 years. So I think that's also part of why it was easy for me, but also this connection to something larger. I've been working with astrology and human design and gene keys. So I have had a lot of different systems that I have worked with. But this one really is speaking to me.
Yeah.
Something else is speaking through this. And I'm actually already starting doing some readings for people, and they are just very shocked at what they are. They can see themselves in what I am describing.
Yeah.
And so what brought me here is just some more knowledge and just listening to you and what you see, because you are the author and the one sharing this knowledge. So I like to go to source.
Okay.
For the one that
yeah. So you've read the book. You've read the book by the sounds of it, have you?
No, I haven't actually. And that's the weirdest thing. I ordered the book on Amazon, and then I was waiting for it to come, and then something happened, and they said that they had to delete the order. So what I had read was I think she has taken your course and did a little ebook where she is just tapping into different frequencies, and then it's just been expanding in me. And then, so I was like, okay, maybe I don't have to or need to read the book, because that's what I usually do. I tap into like astrology and then I read everything about it. And then I kind of forget like my own voice in it. So I think that is what happened. So just speaking about it and just.
So whose ebook did you read?
I don't remember her name. It's very difficult to pronounce.
Okay.
Okay,
because you can get the book on the book sold out a while back, and they had to read.
That's why
they reprint.
But it was from. Okay.
Yeah,
but it didn't say it was sold out in the Amazon in Deutschland, in Germany.
it would have sold out on it's sold out everywhere in the world. There's
Okay.
there's a lot of interest in it, and
Yeah, I
so you
understand. Yeah.
should be able to get the physical book again because I was
Okay.
told by the publisher what comes out restocked now.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can get the Kindle version because the book's a
Mm.
transmission. It's not just the conscious knowledge. Or just get the
I,
Kindle version. What people are doing is getting the Kindle version so they've got something to work with because they've got
mhm,
the same levels of enthusiasm as you, Sophia. And
mhm.
then when they get the physical version. You actually need a physical version because you need to flip backwards and forwards in the book a lot. It's not like a
Yeah, I know.
novel; it's a reference book. Yeah, so it's definitely worth getting because you get the full transmission of it. So
Mm.
yeah,
I look forward to that.
yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, Shamlina, where are you? What brought you here?
I'm in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Um, well, actually, I don't remember. I think it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, by accident, I was watching something and it linked me to your website.
Yeah.
And I read the articles. I was kind of I feel connected. And then I found you have this offer, so then I just apply. But basically, I just like Sophia. I've been working with many different systems, and since I was born as a child, I think it was kind of like a family DNA. Like my aunt and me, and also my little cousin, we were born to connect with the thing, like energy stuff. But I was very scared when I was a child because nobody told me how to deal with this. I was trying to run away. But till like 10 years ago, I started realize even I tried to hide under the table, but they still can see me, still come to me. So I want to find out who I am, who I truly am, and I start working on this like speeches and energy stuff and all the different systems to know about myself. And a couple of years ago, during the meditation, like my something was open and I start saying light language and start channeling and chanting for people. Sometimes if it can be translated into earth language, then I would know, then I would translate. But sometimes it's more like a vibration for people for their physical body or to talking to their soul. So basically right now I'm doing sound healing mostly. Yeah, and also energy healing. Working with um some other star beings. Yes.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Yes.
So you sound very dedicated, just like Sophia as well. Okay. All right. So what would you like from it, Shamlina? What would you like from this webinar?
I would like to know how the soul contract works and how we can it's like how we can transmute that, because through my own experience I had a really serious karma with the family I was born, but till this couple years I start let it go, and I can really become more peaceful. So, but I still see people around me. So, yeah, I hope I can have some knowledge or some way that I can integrate with what I've been working with and to help more people and help myself too. Yes.
Okay. Got it. All right. See what we can do. Okay. I'm just taking a few notes here. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to know as well, Sophia, specifically? In terms of what you need from So I can.
Yeah, I'm very curious about when you change your name, because I changed my name 6 months ago, and it was just because the name spoke to me, but this is not my birth name.
Yeah.
And I have been married and then divorced, so I have had like 4 different names, and I can kind of, when I look into I can see what I got from it. But it's interesting that, yeah, before changing my name and like the birth, like how the birth chart is still so important even when you change your name. I actually asked the question in your group, Soul Reader Contract on Facebook, and I got a really good answer, but I'm still very curious about what exactly happens in the name change and how, yeah, it becomes this overlay and new talents, and but it doesn't change the foundation, the cake, that I heard. Yeah, so I'm curious about that.
Well, we can address that as well.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'm interested in this too, because the Shaminina was not my birth name too. It was a name spoken to me like 4 years ago. It was kind of long. Shaminina Ulavarakala Itayada. During my meditation, this just came to me. But then, I start to get to know this name more and more and trying to feel it and use it. But then I feel name has many layers. There is a name of the source, but because some names come out from the past life, maybe I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of interested in this as well.
Oh, common theme. Okay, we can explore this. Okay. All right, let's go back to the presentation here. So I'm going to cover some of the basic stuff for some of the other guys who watch this later. But then I will address that as well. So for both of you. Okay, so this will be a different sort of webinar than we normally do. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. Okay. Making sure my other video screen is working okay. So you know why you're here. And I'm here to help you guys move forward from wherever you are. And you give me a very clear idea what that is. So back to our original theme for a little while. So Akama contains our spiritual gift of service, which is the last place most people will want to look. And most people turn away from the Akama, but we have the law of attraction, which is in our soul contract, through the sounds of our name, tracks specific experiences. And initially, the law of opposites runs very strongly. One you weren't told about that goes with the law of attraction. Initially, we get everything we don't like in life. That sound familiar? And the purpose for that is so we get really clear on what we do want in life. When we get everything we don't like, we move away from it. But by turning into the karmic patterns that emerge initially in our life, and then bringing consciousness to them and transmuting them, that enables us to claim our gift of service, what we came here to deliver. And most people never claim that because they run away from it and they get stuck. And life is not that fulfilling in the way they'd like. Many have a dream of what they'd like to do if they've found that, but it's very rare to manifest that because turning into the karma and transmuting is the key. And most people most people's egos, which is not them ultimately, aren't prepared to do that. Right, so because they need the right tools to do that. Well, first thing you need to understand, well, what is the karmic pattern? Let alone trying to transmute it. So it's quite, without knowing that, having that knowledge, it's actually quite challenging working through life. So in order to help people do that, you're the answer to that search for, well, how do I find my gift? How do I find my gift of service? What learning how to do this work and delivering it to people as a soul contract reader enables you to decode the secrets of the blueprint of life for spiritual seekers, hidden within the sounds of their birth name. And the sound of the name comes from the soul, comes from the frequencies of the name it chose prior to incarnating. It basically looks at all its past lives. Let's say these are the past lives here. And this is the current life. It takes all the lessons, the themes from these lives, these different frequencies, and each lifetime it creates a more enhanced life based upon what it learned previously. And a lot of things are not fully resolved in one lifetime. And it designs a name which, through the law of attraction, will create the optimal lifetime, or optimal life experience by the law of attraction to continue that growth process. So this is about revealing, well, what actually is that? And with the soul contract, this empowers them to first understand and then overcome their karma through that understanding. So you apply the right tools, express more of their talents, achieve their goals, and if they manage to work through all this on a conscious basis, manifest their soul life purpose. That's a sort of hidden secret that light workers are always looking for, that hidden thing that someone hasn't told them, and that they've been searching for that either consciously or unconsciously their whole life. I had that from the very young age. I was looking for that. It's something someone hasn't told me. So Shamlina, have you read the book, Your Soul Contract Decoded? Have you?
No, not yet.
You haven't read the book yet? Okay. So I'll explain how it works. So what have you seen, Shamlina? Have you seen, what have you actually seen in terms of the work?
You mean what? Sorry, I didn't really understand.
How did you learn about the work? What were you watching or reading to learn about the work?
Oh, you mean how I work with other people?
No, how did you find out about this work if you haven't read the book?
I don't know. I just trust my intuition because sometimes when I see something, I don't feel connect. But when I read your words, I feel I was caught. So I don't even know how I jumped to your website. But I think there was something lead me to link, and then I read some articles, and I just feel very strongly connected. I want to know more, so that's why I just come here.
Okay, all right. Well, what I'll do is I'll go through the core principle of the system. So what happens is that soul chooses a name based upon all its past experience, as I was saying, and then we take the frequencies in that name and we convert them to Hebrew sounds. And so what we're going to do is we're going to decode these Hebrew sounds using the Star of David here. And it's made up of two large triangles, a large downward pointing triangle here, which represents the physical side of life, and a large upward pointing triangle representing the spiritual side. So we as personalities, we're brand new each lifetime. So we need to enter the physical world and form a personality structure here. And we need to learn to walk and talk, get conditional responses, get up and running in life. So what happens is that we establish ourselves in the world. We establish our ego personality. And that's what we primarily focus on for the first 5 cycles of life. Yeah. That Shamlina, you got a question?
Let me go to restroom. Okay.
Okay. All right. And then we in the ages of 35 and 42, which is the sixth cycle of life, the spiritual triangle activates. And that's where we start to awaken spiritually, or younger. And we make a transition from the physical to the spiritual triangle. So the spiritual triangle is where we're really starting to bring online our true spiritual gifts. And the soul's hoping that you've built enough of the energies of the physical triangle just to be a good foundation for the spiritual triangle to build upon. Within each triangle, there are three aspects. There's karma, talents, and goals here. And what's happening here is that physical karma is a set of unresolved past life issues for this lifetime. And they create the negative context for our life, all the things we don't like initially. So we get clear what we do want. And the way we overcome them is we activate our latent physical talents here. And they, if they're a good match, help overcome the physical karma and transmute it into our gift of service in the physical. If it's a good match. If it's not a good match, then it takes longer. That's why we need like a name change, Sophia. And then the physical talents here, as they get stronger, infuse into the physical goals. This is like what excites us about life. This is what gets us out of bed in the morning. And as we do that, as we overcome that, those goals start to come online as well. This is really good stuff in life that we're after. So the energy moves from physical karma, physical talents to physical goals in the spiritual. And the same happens in the spiritual. There are spiritual karmic patterns which are all about how we open to higher consciousness, how we open to the high self to bring through our spiritual gifts of service. And the spiritual talents activate and overcome this. If it's a good match, they're latent initially, and as they get stronger, that helps us move to the spiritual goals. Again, what excites us about life spiritually. So the idea is to first understand what these 6 outer aspects are. Okay. Then over time, this is percentage complete. As we work through these consciously, these all contribute towards the manifestation of our soul destiny. And that's revealed to us layer by layer. Okay, so soul's not going to reveal to you everything you're here to do. It's going to reveal it in layers as you work through the outer part of this, hopefully consciously. And so you get one layer, then as you get integrated, you integrate that, then you get used to the next layer, and more comes to eventually the full purpose of this lifetime is revealed as you can cope with it. Okay, so what we can do here, okay, so we can do a little taster reading just to demonstrate that to everybody, but then that will also lead into us looking at the layered effect, the cake and the icing that you talked about, Sophia. Okay, so who would like to be the demo here? Who would like me to have a look at that? Okay, we'll probably have a bit of time to do both of you, okay? We'll see how we go. So let me get my software up here. Right.
I can go last.
Hmm?
I can go last if it's.
You want to go last?
But if she hasn't got a reading yet, then I think, because I have read my chart.
Okay. So Shamlina, have you actually generated your own chart?
No.
All right, okay, we'll do yours first. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your current name? You're just getting a Shamlina, are you?
Well, I'm wondering the current name is the name on the passport or the name I'm using in my daily life.
In daily life.
Okay, Shamilina is, yeah.
Is there another name, or is it just Shamlina by itself?
Shamilina, the whole name is Shamilina Ulavawa Kalaitayata.
You have to spell that.
I'm gonna type it. Okay.
You have to type that for me in that case. So. Hi, Lisa, if you'd like to join us as a panelist, just say yes to the being a panelist there. You'll be able to switch the video on if you want to. Otherwise, you can just watch that in the background. Okay. Where's that from, Shamlina? Was that just channeled?
You mean where did this name from?
Yeah, where'd this name come from?
From during my meditations, it came through me.
Okay. All right. All right. What's your birth name? What's on the birth certificate?
Birth certificate, birth name. Okay. Birth name is the name my parents give to me. Right?
Yeah, on the birth certificate. If you can type that in the chat, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay.
So, is your family Chinese originally?
Well, my mom is from Taiwan. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, which is the surname here? Peju or Liu?
Liu is a family name, and
Okay.
Peiju is last name. Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll use that as it is. Okay.
But I also have a Japanese name, so it's very
Complicated, yeah.
so many names. Okay.
So is this the name on the birth certificate?
Yes.
Okay. So that you were born in Japan or born in Taiwan?
I was born in Taipei. Yes.
Okay. So we'll use that to start with. Okay. So,
Okay.
all right. So I won't put your birthday because it's a public video. You're okay for me to analyze your name? So,
Okay.
seeing you've asked for name to be analyzed, I can just tell the system that you're okay with that. All right. All right. So we'll just generate the chart. This is the chart generation software, subcontractreader.com here. You get 4 free charts out from this, and then it's you got to pay a little bit for it. Okay, so what we've done here is that we take the name, the birth certificate name is like the cake of your life, which is what Sophia was talking about originally. So in Chinese, the surname comes first, so we put that first. So what we do here is that we have 22 frequent Hebrew numbers. Okay, numbers we use. And each of those numbers has a channeled translation or channeled transmission from the soul of Moses that came through Frank Alper, my teacher, who channeled the systems through in the 80s. And so we're going to decode this. Normally we have a 6-pointed Star of David. We only have, because we've got less than 10 Hebrew sounds here in your name, Shamlina, we can only do a single triangle. So we match the Hebrew up to the equivalent English. So what we do is we have our written English as it's pronounced to Hebrew translation matrix. So these 22 numbers relate to the 26 English letters. Some of them are used multiple times. And so what the software has done is it's matched the equivalent Hebrew sounds. That's lamed, that's yud. Okay, that's another yud there. That's pay. These are hey. These are all Hebrew sounds. We're going to work that out for us. So we're going to decode these numbers on a single triangle here. So we don't have a split between physical and spiritual karma. It's just all the same. There's not enough information to split them. Okay. And so we take these numbers here and we start allocating them at karmic position. So the 12 goes here. So we go 12, 10, 6. So 12, 10, 6. We go around once. We go 17, 5, 10. We go 17, 5, 10. We go 10 and 6. 10, and 6. We allocate all the numbers onto there. And then what we do is we add them up. So the total is 39. Because we only have 22 Hebrew sounds, we have to reduce this to a number between 1 and 22. So we simply go 3 plus 9 equals 12. And so that forms the first number. This is called a combination number. Then we go 1 plus 2 equals 3 to get the second number. So, Shamlina, you have in Karma here, you have a frequency of a 12 and a 3. And these are English numbers as labels for a Hebrew frequency. This is Lamed and Gimel. Okay, so there's a range of frequency in Karma for you. So at any given time, you're sitting on this continuum. And the idea is to explore all that through this lifetime. Okay, so we work the other numbers out accordingly. 21. 21 is between 1 and 22. So that stays as it is. But 2 plus 1 equals 3. Total 16, less than 22. So 1 plus 6 equals 7. So we get a 16, 7. So you have all combination numbers. 16 and a 7. 21 and a 3. Okay.
Okay.
On here. So what does it mean? Okay. So I'll ask you a few questions. So Shamlina, were you shy as a child?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
Yeah. So the 3 here is about you hiding away in the shell of this internal canal. And this is about learning to pull out this plug of unworthiness here. This is unworthiness to be loved, seen. Pulling that, the lesson, the karmic is to pull that plug out so that the internal canal, which is a library of deep soul knowledge, because you're here as a teacher, really. Okay. So as this opens up, you're here to bring deep soul knowledge out to the world and communicate it as a teacher.
Oh, okay.
There's lots of light, lots of knowledge hidden in here. Does everyone tell you their secrets? Does everyone tell you their secrets and they know you won't tell anyone else?
Well, I did some, sections I've been told a lot, but that because I didn't believe in myself. So I was wondering how can I, share this with people as a teacher. I never thought I can be a teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what you're born to do. So you can store other people's knowledge in here as well, their secrets. And the 12 is about absorbing and expanding lots of knowledge. Do you read lots of books, watch lots of spiritual material, videos, and things like that? Yeah.
Yes. Not really videos. I took a lot of systems. I have many certificates, many different systems about energy healing and all kind of stuff. I like to know more. I don't take one system as my own things like 100%. I learn it very fully, but I only take the part which resonate with myself.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're here to take lots of different things, systems, and expand them, then communicate them to the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is saying you're quite busy all the time trying to absorb all this knowledge. And this 21 here, this is in Karma, it's a lesson. The Karma is a 21. The 21 is the divine mother energy.
Okay.
And this is the energy of having to endure and overcome great hardship and big challenges. So have you had a lot of challenges in your life, Shamlina?
Yes.
Yeah. What sort of things have been happening, if you want to share them?
Mostly as in relationships. The relationship with my parent, my mom, and relationship in with the partners and stuff like that. Especially with my mom, yeah.
What's that last thing you said? With your mother, was it?
Yeah, I think that was a really big karma with my mom's relationship. Yes.
Yeah. So you're here to build great strength as a result of all those challenges. So have you got stronger inside because of that?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So, and this is saying in talents, you're also a teacher. So this karma here, this positive 3, you have the ability to communicate knowledge, this is worthiness to be loved. This overcomes this karmic pattern here by unworthiness to be loved. So this is going to help you come online as a teacher. And the goals here, 16, is about taking high-level spiritual concepts and bringing them down to the earth plane. And then expressing them in plain English or Chinese or Japanese, whichever language you're using to communicate to people with. So do you find you do that? You turn it into everyday language so people can understand high-level spiritual concepts?
Yeah, because sometimes when I got channeling, it was the light language, like a star language from different plants. And yeah, it can be translated into Chinese, into Japanese, sometimes English. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this here is the core of it. And the 7 here is about, it's called a link which unites, is 7. So this is saying that there's a heart wound that came from childhood. So what caused the heart wound, Shamlina? Someone broke your heart. What happened?
Is it mean in this life or in past life?
In this life, someone broke your heart. Someone closed your heart closed, and you went hide, and your inner child went hiding away. She hid away here. Then she put out a public facade, a mask, so others could see the public mask.
Yeah, I think it was my mom. Yeah, because when I was a child, it's not only my mom, but I mean the people around those adults, because you can feel they don't say the things from their heart. It's more very socialized, and nobody believe what I told them. They think I'm lying. I was lying. That's why I decided not to share anymore, because nobody believe in me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So your the lesson here and the goal is to learn to heal a wounded heart from all those things that happened, and show your true feelings and thoughts in the world, and to is to drop the facade the ego puts up and show your true self, even though the inner child may feel she's going to be rejected or be seen as bad. But you'll discover as you show your true self, and everyone will come to you, because when you share from the heart, it's a very pure frequency. It's pure truth. Okay.
Right now, I'm not scared anymore, because I feel like I'm not afraid to tell my friends I can, receiving the message from above or channeling. But even some people left me away, but still some people, they still stand with me, and some new friends, new people come into my life. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what you're here to do is as you open your heart, you're here to build a network of like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
You're here to build as you come out of hiding, you're here to bring a network of people together, both as friends, personally and professionally, to create a greater whole, to synergize a greater whole out of it. Okay.
Yes.
So you're here to work in a whole team, spiritual team. That's what this is about.
Yes.
All right. So let's find out how this overlay energy works. Whoops, let's go and stop sharing. Hang on. Okay. Back to this. So what we'll do is we'll go to the overlay section of the software. So we're going to look at the cake and the icing that you guys have been talking about. Okay. How long have you had this new name, Shamlina?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. All right. So So this is the birth name we just described. It repeats itself twice, so we can understand the effect of this longer name. This is more than 10 Hebrew sounds, so therefore we can get a full Star of David coming out of this. I'll show you what that looks like, actually, for the sake of this. We'll just do that chart here. So you can see we get a full Star of David coming out of this. All right. So we get both physical, we analyze it in the same way as before, except we have 7 aspects. And oh yeah, there's these channel symbols as well. I forgot to talk about those specifically. They were channeled by Frank Alpa, and they sort of contain the energy of this name. So the only extra thing we did here is that compared to the single triangle, is we calculate the soul destiny. You basically take the physical numbers, put them on the top half of the table, spiritual numbers on the bottom half, and then what we do is that we add them up to get the 59 and the 32. Then we work out the soul destiny. 5 plus 9 is 14. 3 plus 2 is 5. So we get a 14.5 there. It's the soul destiny. Okay. So we'll go back to the overlay sheet so we can see the effect of this name on your birth chart. So the book Your Soul Contract Decoded is designed, to be clear for everyone watching, it only decodes the energies of the birth name. Okay? Because okay, so you can't use it to understand the effect of this name. Okay, because that's another level of complexity. That was going to be a second book, which I did start writing, but it got so complicated I realized I can only teach it. It's just too difficult to explain in a book, because someone has to really understand the birth name first. So the book will tell you about what that is for your birth name. It's for both of you, and Lisa as well listening. So you can think of this as like the cake of your life. So the birth name's like a cake of your life, like this. And then when you have a new name coming in here, there are 7 frequencies we have. All of them on here. So this is like physical karma. PK means physical karma, like that. And this is all the way to spiritual soul destiny. So the cake of your life, which is your birth name on the birth certificate, is always there. It always will be there, except it created who you are and your initial experience of life. And you both have new overlay names, okay, which have come from spirit. So this is like a layer of icing that infuses different frequencies into the adjacent aspects in your chart. So what it does is that they change the energies of this, either positively, negatively, or it may have a neutral effect depending on the relationships. Okay. And so what this name does is this expands your frequencies to a much wider range of frequencies, Shamlina. Okay, so this was a very restrictive name. Yeah. Did you feel your life expanded more once you had this new name?
Yes.
Yeah. So what this brings in is a 10-1, which is the balanced male female aspects of God, open to channel to God here, to channel through you to teach to the world. The 6s gives you a lot of creativity here, okay, and focus. So the ability to take an idea that's resonant with you and turn it into a physical reality. The 15 is about taking you on a journey to explore, to try lots of different things out. So have you been testing lots of different things to see if they work for you? With that?
Yes.
You're going to try something on, then you say, oh, feeling a bit restless, I'm going to try something else. So you're going to be experimenting with things like that. And the 18 is the ability to make decisions, to follow the path of spirit. Yeah. And the 9 is the ability is dragon energy.
Dragon energy?
Yeah. Okay. Just like in Chinese culture, very powerful dragon energy. So you brought a lot more power in. And what that's going to do is that's going to break through the unworthiness here. All these 5s that are very high frequency psychic energy. So it brings the pure spirit, pure truth of spirit in. So this is saying, did your light language open up a lot more since you got this name?
Yes, I feel like yeah, every period I have different. I receive more different light language from different plants, and the chanting and my voice is changing. Yes.
Yeah. So this is going to bring the truth of spirit through you. So your psychic sense will get very refined. So this name's all about channeling the truth of spirit. And the 14, the 14's got reflected being. It means you're going to learn about yourself a lot more in your relationships with others. Okay. And you're going to help others know who they are by interacting with you. So it's a very, very high frequency name for bringing through spiritual knowledge, but it's also very grounded as well. Okay. So these
Yeah,
five.
I had a hard time to be grounding on the earth. I always like feel I'm on the top, but right now I'm trying. Yeah, I'm learning to be more connected to the earth.
Yeah, well, this is going to unground you. It's high frequency, so you probably need a name which is a little more grounded than this. Okay, okay, you need to maybe adjust this a bit. It needs what we call name optimization. But I think the main purpose was to open your channel up, to bring the emission through. That's what this is about. Okay.
So the gift is more like a channeling, bring the.
Yeah, this is channeling Mother, Father, God. Okay. In a grounded way over this part, making a decision to follow spirit and bringing through pure truth and getting your psychic abilities really tuned in. This is the source of the light language. That's the way the name was given to you, or came to you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Sophia, let's have a look at yours. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let me just start here.
I'm starting. Oh yeah.
You can
with my
type
birth name.
You type your birth name in the chat. That'll be correct. That's a good start.
Oh, sorry, Nico. Davia, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I just had a question when you the reading. Even we don't use, I mean, even I don't use the birth name anymore. It's not my official name anymore. Like not on my passport or anything else. It still affect us.
It's still the cake of your life. It's always there.
Oh, okay.
It is always there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
like a root. So
it
even
is,
some.
yes, the cake is always there, but the icing has a major shift.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Sophia, for that new name. Okay. So you were born in Denmark, Sophia?
Yes.
Yeah. And both Danish parents, or is it mixed? Are they
No, babe. No, Danish parents.
both Danish parents? Okay. All right. All right. So we start with that name. We won't put your birthday in here. You're okay for me to analyze this?
Yes.
So let's put this is for data protection requirements. So put that in here. Okay, so we can see your name. Okay. This is analyzed in the normal way on the 6 points. Okay. So
yeah.
Basically, let's have a look here. This is saying here that you don't come to Earth very often, Sophia. You have to learn to ground and learn how emotions work on Earth. The intense range of polarized emotions. So how's it been being here? It might be quite challenging when you're younger to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. And you're a psychic channel, hypersensitive empath like Shamlina. So you can feel everyone's stuff. Emotional stuff, is saying this here. And this means it's challenging to function in the physical world because it's showing you don't have a lot of physical power, but you have a lot of psychic power. And you've got to go with what your intuition tells you to get things done. Sound about right?
Yes.
And
yes.
Your physical goals here are to learn to come in, learn to There's challenges with the masculine. So what was your relationship like with your father?
It was challenging.
Yeah,
I am actually not in contact with my dad at the moment.
yeah. And this would lead to challenging relationships with men as well, as you try and resolve
Yes.
that. Okay. And that will probably be the reason for divorce as well. So you
Yeah.
claim your power in front, because our father and men in relationships in this case, because you're a woman, represent you coming into your power, trying to resolve the disconnect from Father God. Okay. And the 10-1 here is all about bringing the balanced male-female energies of God in, like Shamlina, to channel that. So you're here to use spiritual energies to be a pure service to others. That's the purpose of this life, and bring pure truth to the world. Okay. So there's no. So what do you do at the moment, mainly, in terms of work and service to the world? What do you do at the moment?
Not. I want to say not much, but that's not true. As I said in the beginning, I started doing readings for people. For I just put it out there just to practice. But before that, I'm just using my voice as an influencer.
Okay.
And I have been previously communicating publicly about taboos, about being a parent, and just recently starting to talk about my own karma and how it affected my relationships, and just I'm very outspoken person actually when I begin.
Yeah.
And truth is very important to me, and has helped me a lot to tune into my own truth and the truth of spirit.
This is the pure
It
truth
gives me
here.
some kind of
This is the one doing all that. But it gets you in lots of trouble, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I also have I think because I have so much Libra in my chart, that people actually, I don't know, they somehow listen to me, and they don't, like, I do it in a very proper way. I'm not like the warrior type. I'm more like just speaking my truth in a pretty way, I want to say.
Okay. Yeah. You're following the program here. This is the cake of your life. So in spiritual karma, you're here to do you get lots of creative ideas?
Yes.
Too many of them? You're trying to do them all at once?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets frustrating because you can't get them all done.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah. So you got to pick one at a time and take whether it's convertible or not, take the idea and focus and take that one idea and turn it into a physical reality. Okay. So you're with this one of these, you focus on where you want to go, and you step by step, one little step at a time, focus on getting to the goal, achieve that, then do another one. But don't try and do them all at once because it'll drive you a bit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the 7 here.
I know.
The 7 here is about opening the heart. So there's a heart wound here and here, probably from the father. And you too are here to show your true self, which it sounds like you're doing that, and drop the facade and show you the true feelings and thoughts. Because when you share truth from the heart, everyone else has to open their heart and share their truth. And the whole
I feel that
frequency goes up. Okay.
Mm.
You're here to build a big network, just like Shamlina. You guys are quite similar, actually. You're here to build a big network of people. Share the truth. Okay. So this is saying you're here to work with groups of people in pure service, and to learn to do it in a very emotionally connected way, to move from the head into the body, to feel the feelings in you as you actualize yourself in this life, and to move out of isolation and be on the cutting edge, speaking truth, which is why you're drawn to this work. Fire is always drawn to this work because it's the pure truth of God, really, this work. Okay, because
I feel that.
Yeah, with this work, Almira Ariel Haller, who used to run the center with me, we maintained the pure frequencies that Frank Alpha gave to me we just adjusted the languaging a bit to make it a bit more grounded, but we maintained the frequency so nothing's lost. Okay, that was the point of it. So this gift that he brought to the world is maintained. Okay, so shall we look at the cake of your life, find out what this new name does?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we'll add an overlay in. Okay, so again, you can't use the book to understand what the overlay effect is because it doesn't. There's only enough room in the book to explain how birth names work. That took long enough to write. So we'll look at it here. Okay, so here's your cake of your life, and here's the layer of icing. So how long have you used this new name, Sophia?
Since December last year.
Okay, so
around 9-10 months.
9-10 months. Okay. So where did the name come from? Did it just channel through you, or how did it come?
No, it was I was playing around with numerology, and then I wanted the number frequency to be 23. Like, this is another numerology system because I was born on the 23rd, and it's a very like divine frequency, and I wanted it to match, so there was alignment between my name and my birthday, so people would see the true me. So I looked at this overview of names on that frequency, and it just hit me. I was like, it was my name. So that's why I don't know if it was the real way I did it, but it felt very real. And yeah, I never done anything like that before because
Okay.
you know I deleted my father's name, Rosing, actually in that process, and I don't know. It felt like a calling.
Okay. So what this name does is this is about absorbing and expanding knowledge of Shamlina and sharing it as a master teacher in the world with an open heart, magnetizing lots of people to you and taking that knowledge out to the world and being very successful at bringing it to the world. You maintain the creativity here, although this creates a clash. So this could create more isolation for you. So it needs a bit of optimizing, Sophia, so that you don't create more isolation. But this is definitely sharing the flow of nature. Okay, ultimate flow is children, but this is ultimately taking knowledge that comes to you and duplicating it. And then creating a flow of these energies. Take it out to the world. So you're here to definitely share knowledge. And as you share the knowledge, more will come to you. And this goal here is maintaining opening the heart, but this again clashes. This could lead you to feeling not safe to show yourself. But overall, this will ground you. Okay, so basically it's reinforcing the energies of working in groups and sharing knowledge, but it needs a bit of refinement. It's saying groups, teaching, out in society, sharing knowledge. That's the core message. Just needs a bit of refinement. Okay, that's what this is about. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the isolation, I feel that. So that's why I like to do it online. Instagram and places like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions about that? Right, go on.
It's actually interesting because when I did my own name by hand, I had two different aspects in my birth name. And that they really spoke to me a lot. So I'm kind of confused about the physical karma, even though it resonates as well when you talked about it, and my soul destiny.
Which in this name here?
Because the first name.
Yeah. Which bits
soul destiny
which bits are you not clear on? I'll see if I can help.
The physical karma in what I calculated was the 13-4.
Did you calculate it like we used the Star of David here, like I showed you?
Yeah, and what she described when the birth, the letters, like for example with the H, yeah.
So is this the chart you got coming out?
No.
Did you do it by hand? Did you?
Yes, I did it by hand.
Okay, it just
but
means
all the other is the same, but not the soul destiny and the physical karma.
It just means that you did probably a math error when you're adding it up. That's all.
Yeah. but I'm kind of sad about that because I like the soul destiny. I had the 11-2 and the 13-4, and it really resonated with me because I also had some mom issues. I did not connect with my own divine feminine because of my dad issues.
Yeah.
So it's what I've been really working like my whole life, and what I talked about when I was going public like 5 years ago, it was the wound of being a mother, like the taboo about having kids, and it was very difficult for me to connect. But I also, when you speak about the 8-8, now see that my kids came in with a lot of emotions, and it was the difficult part for me. Yeah. So I'm just battling with the confusion in my own mind.
Well, those numbers that you resonate with are maybe another part of in other parts of the name. So what did you go with when you were younger? Sarah for home rousing? Is that what you used when you were younger?
Yeah, primarily. I did not like my name Natasha. So it was Sarah Rousing was actually the only name I used.
Okay, well, let's just check that. All right. So this is like common, it's got a common name, common from birth. So the numbers you may resonate with may be contained here. We'll soon find out. Okay, so okay, so you can see your 11-2s here that you resonated with.
Yes.
There's no 13-4 though.
No.
But that could
I had that in my marriage name. I had that in my spiritual, if I calculated right, spiritual karma. 13-4.
What was your married name?
Okay, I'm gonna write it.
You put in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, spiritual karma, it's there. The 13-4.
Yeah, so the 13-4 turned up in the legal married name, see?
Yeah, that's where it all began.
Yeah,
With
so
mother.
we choose just this thing to come into the divine mother energies, to be a good mother. How many kids have you got?
2.
2, yeah. So this is about coming to the divine feminine. So you chose all these different names at a soul level. So you bring these different frequencies in because it's not possible to bring them all initially in the birth name. And sometimes we don't want them to a certain time. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But this all comes, understanding what this means comes when we teach us, like in the soul contract reading training, there's 3 levels. So there's the first level, which teaches the birth name readings. We transmit the meaning of the numbers. It's beyond the book. There's only so much you can put in a book. The book carries a lot of transmission, but you sit in the field for 3 days, and we take different students. We use everybody, and if we have enough people, then everyone can hear the transmission of each person of the different numbers. So we cover all numbers. So you immerse in the field for 3 days of all the numbers. And then we teach you for 2 days how to hold space to deliver readings, so channel readings basically. So that's level 1. Give a good birth chart reading. And to better understand how this works, level 2, we spend 4 days understanding the effects of the 22 numbers as icing on a birth chart. Okay, and then you practice giving those readings as well. So you get a lot of practice giving and receiving readings. That's how we learn. So basically, you're sitting in the field and practicing. So that's where we cover the intricacies of what this does, and we look at the effect over time of all the different names. So you can have a birth chart here, but it's only maybe 30% of your life. About 70% comes from the different names you've used, different relationships you've had, divorces, what the relationship like with the parents. So we look at the whole, I think, called pattern recognition. What are the pattern of repeating numbers, and when do they come? How do they flow? So we basically get the flow of someone's life over time, and there's usually 3 or 4 main themes running in their life, which will show up in all the charts. And that shows us where you're going in the future over time this way. That's what we teach in level 2. So that's where it gets really interesting to see, how do the kids fit in? What are they learning? How do they fit in to the whole family constellation of energies? And there's always, everyone has their place, and we can work out what that is. We can work out.
It's really interesting with the kids, actually. My daughter, she has 4 times the 10-1 in her chart.
Ooh, it's very strong.
And she is, yeah, very strong. And she is experiencing some stuff with her dad at the moment. And
yeah.
And my son has 9-9 in the spiritual karma and the physical karma. So both so very strong and emotional kids.
You've got very strong kids. So we look at how to consciously raise those children. Where do they fit in the family dynamic, even if in this case there's a divorce? How to best manage the whole situation. That's what we do in level 2. So everyone gets their learning without loss of too much emotional and energetic blood. Without too much, we're trying to reduce the conflict but maximize the learning. That's what we do.
We don't have conflicts, actually, because I've been consciously parenting my kids like from another place since they were, because I woke up when my daughter was born, I feel like, and then my son, I had a depression in 2010. They are 12 and 15 now.
Yeah.
So they are old kids. Yeah. So yeah, been through all the challenges and learned from them, and then now we are just at a very different place and
sound like you're in a good place.
Very independent. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. So this gives a good picture of how to go through that process for people consciously from the beginning, in terms of understanding how to manage their kids, their relationships, how to create harmony, maximum learning. That's what we do with level 2. Okay. So does that help a bit?
That was interesting, but it actually makes sense with the 8-8, because I was wondering, why I didn't have it in my birth chart, because I felt it. Like I feel it inside me. I don't like emotions that much, because I don't like always how it feels. So it has been a journey for me to ground and just be okay with whatever emotions come up within me, and also because of my kids teaching me that emotions are okay. So it's been a big one, actually. So
it's the main one for you here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to read about time. I'll say a bit more about this. Okay. So
thank you.
All right. So Shamlina?
Just wondering why some names have dominant vibration, but some of names doesn't have the dominant vibration.
Dominant vibrations where you have 4 more of the same number. Okay, that's what it means. So you can see here that Sophia has 4 or more 7s here. Therefore, that's an overall theme in her life. It doesn't mean it's any better or worse. It just means this is the one the soul wants her to focus on. Okay.
So this is energy.
Yeah, there's a channeling from God that goes with it. It's very sort of biblical. It reminds you why you came to Earth. All right, I just need to finish this. We're about time. I just need to say a bit more so we complete the presentation here. So, if you're interested in learning more about this with a training, just basically in either as a one-on-one therapist or running workshops or somewhere in between, it gives you an immediate and profound understanding of your clients' or students' issues, which really accurately guides you through all your work with them. It builds a lot of trust, simply because what it does is it lovingly breaks down all the ego defenses trying to stop you getting to this knowledge. And then you get to the truth. And once people got to the truth, they want to get on with it. It produces faster results, better results for people. And what happens on the training, the level 1 training, which is 5 days that I just described, is that you get to understand yourself and everyone else, and you learn how to give good readings. With a bit of practice, using the 22 letters of Hebrew. You'll be amazed what you can do, because you sit in the field. It's an experiential training. It's not about learning more that's in the book. The book is a good place to start, but it basically helps you become the work. All right, that's what we do with the training. It's taken us 30 years to work out how to do this. And basically here, it's awakening you to this knowledge which you already have. That's what we're actually doing. You're drawn to it because you already have access to this. And we give ongoing support with our practitioner support group. It's a Facebook private group where it's peer-to-peer support. And we also have paid for support programs as well. So we take you from, maybe you've read the book, and then we take you to becoming a practitioner, and then we support you to get out in the world with it, with your work. A lot of the practitioners use it with family dynamics, Sophia, to help people consciously work with their families and their relationships in general. So when people get hold of this knowledge, as you've discovered, there's a feeling of deep peace when they hear the truth, a relief that there's a sense of order to their lives, because a lot of people feel, my life's a big car crash, what's gone wrong? I should have been doing something else. And those who may feel like victims or disempowered, they can actually take charge and move forward and move forward to their true purpose, because everyone's here with a purpose. Okay. And we teach you how to show people how far they progress through their spiritual map of life, and how to give recommendations which are optimized for exactly where they are now, so they can eventually align to their soul purpose. And it really touches people. I can remember my reading when I got off Frank. I mean, it was extremely profound. It led me to be able to bring it to England, this work in Europe, and develop it and share it, because I found it so powerful. And it really does open us to a deeper level of ourselves and compassion for humanity, simply because people can't help themselves because they're driven by what's in their contract. And you can use this work to help them make peace with that and move forward. Okay, so in the training basically runs twice a year. So you'll be giving and preparing and giving readings in the group. And so with a bit of practice, you can deliver them to people at a higher level. Okay. So it'll take you from where you are now, Sophia, for example, to a completely new level in terms of what you can deliver in the transmission. Okay. So any other questions, guys? Including you, Lisa, as well. You can put either put the microphone on, Lisa, or this is on, or just put
Hi. Oh, hang on.
Do you want to come on? Do you want to put the video on, Lisa? You up for that, or just want to talk?
Sure. Here, that's fine.
Yeah, just say yes to being a panelist, and then I can see you. Be here in a minute. There she is. Hi. Thanks for joining us. So do you have any other questions, Lisa?
So many questions, so many questions. Well, I missed part of it, so I probably have questions that pertain to that. I think my first question is, because all of a sudden I'm feeling this on a visceral level, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit, actually. Yeah, so I am signed up right now for the Divine Healing Codes, and that was Jenny Wilkinson recommended that. And so now I'm like, oh, do I want to do this instead? And so anyways, that's a question that we can talk about. Is there a program that I can put my name into to get information, or is that something that's once we go through the class?
I mean, you want to get a reading? Is that what you're saying?
Sure, I would love that. If you have time.
No, we don't have time now to do actual reading, but here's how I'll show you how you can get the information. This is for everyone watching. Okay. So the first way of getting the information is you get the book Your Soul Contract Decoded. Okay, so you can get that at I'll put it on here. Let's go to Your Soul Contract Decoded.com. Go to that link, and that will take you to the website, and then you can find out where you can buy the book. It's on all the Amazons around the world, plus a lot of other sites. Okay, Your Soul Contract Decoded.com. So you can just make it slightly smaller, so I can put a few links up for you guys. It's a bit easier to read. Hang on, it's a bit small. Okay, so yeah, Sophia should be on all the Amazons now, like .de and .co.uk and things like that. So if you want to generate your own chart using the software I just showed you, you go to soulcontractreader.com. So you get 4 free charts out of that. So if you use the book and you use the software, you can work out your own reading. Okay.
Yeah.
If you are impatient, which a lot of people are, and you can also, there's another way to do it. We have a new service here called Soul Contract Reports, because people were saying to me, Nicolas, I have worked out my own name. I've read the book. I've read the whole book, and I want to do 10 other people in my family and close friends. I don't want to have to work it out all by hand. So what we did is that we developed the next version of software, which is called YourSoulContractReport.com. And all you do with that is you send us, that takes you to the website where you can actually enter the name you want. And you can either get a 1-page report, which is sort of like a summary like we just did now, okay, for $18 approximately, depending on the exchange rate. Okay, or if you really want to go deep, Lisa, you can get, I'm just going to close the window, the neighbors are making a lot of noise. You can get a full report, which contains 2 components, a 25 to 50-page abbreviated report. That's just because people said it's too much to read the big report initially. Just give me the sort of a top-level one. That gives you the first part of your reading. And once you've absorbed that, you get a 75 to 140-page report. And this is based on the interpretations in the book. Okay. So that is £70 or $90. Okay. So there's a lot of requests for this. So we built this over the past 6 years. And this is from the guys who wanted to know about everybody. Okay. All right. Or you can come for a live reading, but that costs about 3 times that, okay, for this per reading. So this was to make it more accessible. So there are 3 different ways you can learn it there. You get hold of the information, Lisa. Or if you want to do a lot of people, come on the training in October, and then you can work it out yourself. But once you've learned how to do it as a practitioner, it's much simpler because you'll know it. You won't have, after a while, you won't keep looking it up. You'll just know it, what it means. Okay.
And with the training, will we have access to the software to figure that out?
Yes, you'll have access to the software. It's you pay as first 4 charts are free, then you pay a small fee. And if you paid like it's not that expensive, and you can pay up to monthly. If it's pay as you go, then you can pay monthly fee, small amount. And the top level one, you pay about $30 or $40 a month, and you can do as many charts as you want. Okay, so
okay, but your software that you use, that's not something that we would have access to.
No, you do have access to it, but you need to pay for it because it took us many years to build it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now you have access to the software. Now you have software to generate the charts. Okay. The second, the upgraded version of the software, which is still being built or we're going to be launching it to practitioners, is basically where it will generate all the interpretations as well. It's a massive piece of work. It took us 6 years to build it. You will get access to that eventually as well. Okay. We're starting to test it on the first groups of practitioners to make sure it's right. We're gradually, progressively launching it. So you'll be able to buy those reports at wholesale price, maybe 30 to 37% off. Okay, then you can sell them to your clients. So practitioners are using it as lead magnets in their marketing. So they give people an accessibly priced report, and people say, "Well, that's amazing, Lisa. Now I have a bunch of questions I want to ask you," which always happens. And so then they come for a reading still, but they come at a higher level because they know what's in there, but they want to know the detail. They want something very much more personalized from where they are. So that's what some of our top practitioners are practicing with that, and it's getting some pretty good results. So we're using that as a means of reaching people who are not prepared to spend a couple $100 initially, but they would spend $18 or $90. And they said, this is so amazing, the value. Okay, I'm going to spend $200 with you. At least I have to know the rest. So we built it to spread the word, so to wake people up. So basically, yes, you get access to everything eventually. Okay.
Okay.
So the more cost-effective way is to learn it from a training, because then you can do as many readings as you want. That's what happens if you feel drawn to that. So
Okay.
does that help?
It does. Thank you.
Yeah. So just aware of the time here. Just let you know when the training is for you guys if you want to come. We run it twice a year. And it's the autumn training now. And so the autumn training will come up. It runs the 25th to the 27th. The first 3 days of transmission of numbers. We have a day off, so you can integrate that. It's quite strong. Then the 29th and 30th, we teach you how to hold space and deliver readings. Lisa, what time zone are you in?
Pacific.
Okay, so it is an early start for you, 4:30 to 12:30, 4:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. But I can't teach beyond that because it's 8:30. I start at 12:30 UK time to 8:30 in the evening, but it means that the Europeans, like say Sophia, they go to 9:30, and people can handle that. People used to fly to England for this, so it works out at about half the cost, no jet lag, or a lot less jet lag. So this is why we did it this way. And I used to fly around a lot teaching this, but then the business went global, so I gave up flying because people would have to move to find me wherever I was. I used to teach in North Carolina, so I just stay at home in England now and teach online. Okay, so Shamlina, you're in Tokyo. It's a 9:30. It'll be a 9:30 p.m. start if you're interested. Okay, so we'll go into the evening. However, if you wanna, you could come to this one if you're interested. But next year we have our Asian one. We have an Asia Pacific one where we start at 6 a.m. UK time. So in Tokyo, it runs from 2 to 10 p.m. for you if you want to learn at a civilized hour. We did it for people in Japan, China, and Australasia and India. Okay, the people from the Middle East all the way across to New Zealand and Japan will come on this training here in Australia. Okay, so that won't work if you're in America because it's like you start at 1 in the morning, for example, or 10 p.m. for you, Lisa. So this one would work better for you if you're interested. Okay.
Okay.
So find out more at soulcontractreading.com. The full exchange is about $835 but the exchange rate's very up and down. So it's 718. It's priced in pounds, English pounds. If you want to reserve your place, it's $277. Okay, and £277 and $322. But if you need help with the finances, you and I can have a chat offline. We can figure something out, so you can still do your divine healing if you're drawn to it. Okay, so just email me. You'll have my email address in your register for this. Okay, we can figure that out if you're interested. Okay, so it's good fun. You'll get people from all over the globe coming on the training, so a lot of different cultures, and we have a lot of fun, and you'll discover a lot about yourselves and about all the ways around you. People go a bit mad sometimes. They do the charts of everyone they know when they realize how powerful this is. So it's a big opening, and everyone's relationships improve because you understand what's driving your kids, family, friends, enemies, the boss you don't like, or the boss you do love, wherever it is. Does that help, Lisa? Answer the question?
It does. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else got any other questions before we finish about that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So it's a quantum leap beyond having a bit of the knowledge from the book or ebooks and doing readings is a good start, but this is a quantum leap. You'll see on the website page, soulcontractreading.com, people who've done that, and then they take the training. It's a different world you enter, because you give you all the structure and you are transmitting it, you become it fully, you initiate in it. So it's another level completely what you can deliver to people. So okay. Any final questions?
Thank you.
Anybody? Well, you're okay? No more questions?
No more questions.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming. We'll get this video out next few days. Maybe we'll see you there. It's a lot of fun. Shamlina, there's a question.
Yes, I'm just suddenly really wondering if we learn this and then after we have kids, so we can use the chart to calculate how we want to name our kids.
Yes, we teach that in level 2. We teach you how to name children before they're born, so that the name is optimal from the very beginning to give them the best start. Okay. Last time we named, past 2 times we've named babies who were just born. Okay, and the mothers came on, and so we ask, how does the mother feel? You can feel the numbers, and a sensitive mother will feel the numbers in the child, so we can get to the name the child really wants and give them the best possible start and minimize the amount of serious karmic numbers. So, and a baby who chooses that knows this is going to happen, so they get the best possible start. Like we named our son, Mira and I, with this, and he's had an amazing life so far. And so, and you also make sure that the children are compatible with the family, the parents, and the other siblings as well. So it's less friction and more growth, and it gives the kids a really powerful launch pad to go out and change the world, which is why the current ones are born. This is just sort of getting up and running, really. So it's fun when you do that, especially when you do a newborn, because they're waiting to have this before they put it on the birth certificate or before they're born. Okay. So yeah, it's one of the most amazing things we can do in a training. So name a child. So it's very sacred, very much a sacred process. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, ladies. That was fun. Take care. Any
Yes.
questions, just
Thank you.
email me anytime. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nicolas.
Bye.
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 Bye.